At Vibe Aesthetics and Wellness, we believe confidence isn't just how you look, it's how you feel. From subtle, natural aesthetics to personalized wellness care, everything we do is intentional. This is beauty with purpose. At Vibe Men's Health, we take that same approach. We focus on what matters most: strength, energy, and performance. Built on real data, real medicine, and real results, we're here to help you look better, feel stronger, and live fully. Come vibe with us today.
Mississippi's trusted weather experts. This is Mississippi Live Weather at 9.
Good Wednesday evening, everybody. Officially halfway through the work week, and we are ending on a hot one for sure. That's the story all week long, continues to be the story into our Thursday and Friday. While it was toasty today, not necessarily record high temperatures, but still triple digits in spots. Greenville coming in at 100 degrees, just 3 degrees less than that record high temperature for your Wednesday. By the weekend, that's the story though, as near record setting heat could be on the horizon. So stay hydrated, stay cool. You're going to hear me say that about 47 more times tonight because I really want to emphasize the importance of heat safety, especially with a forecast like this. We might hear some rumbles in the distance, especially if you're in far northeast Mississippi, but rain chances just hard to come by, right? Here in North Mississippi, we've been dry today. We'll continue to be dry heading into the rest of the week. And as we jump into Mississippi Live News, Nettleton applying for a grant for what? When? Our Emily Leonard going to have the latest information on that coming up with Mississippi Live News here shortly. But the news is simple. For the weather world, it's the heat. We're 81 degrees by 10, 79 by 1. Early hours of our Thursday, still going to be in the upper 70s, showing that warming trend, both affecting our high temperatures and low temperatures. While we will see mostly clear skies, those clouds building in, and that's going to honestly provide a little bit of a nice shade for our area. So we're rooting for clouds, we're rooting for rainfall. It's just not exactly going to be the story for a lot of us tomorrow for our Thursday. 86 degrees in Clarksdale, dew point at 73. So still having a sense of that Mississippi mugginess out there, jumping those feels like values all the way up to 93. So it is still a pretty hot pattern. Clarksdale, one of the warmer locations today. I guess hotter locations, I should say. 84 degrees Kosciuszko, feeling like 91. Even there in Itala County, as folks went to their midweek services, I'm sure they had an ice cream trip planned after the service got out. Wouldn't blame you there. And 81 degrees in Aberdeen, feeling like 90, dew point at 81 degrees. What does that mean? It means the temperatures that you're seeing right now in southern Monroe County, that's as cool as it gets overnight, unless that dew point changes. The dew point, the floor that the temperatures can reach, so that's why heat is such a big story. Even the overnight hours not exactly getting a ton of relief. Those current alerts for your Wednesday getting up into the heat advisory threshold once again. This extends not just into Thursday, but all the way through Friday with those extreme heat warnings. I mean, we talked about it yesterday, saying they were almost inevitable. Well, they're here, and we get that for today. We get that for our Thursday, and even continuing into Friday. And by then, it's not the expiration of these advisories and warnings. In fact, the continuation, if not expansion, by the weekend is what we're going to be tracking in more detail. Now, temperatures tonight, like we mentioned, 81 there in Monroe County. We are still 90 degrees in Holly Springs, 91 South Haven and Senatobia, 90 in Clarksdale, 87 Grenada. Just not seeing a ton of relief on this map. And with areas seeing a little bit more moisture, well, that's going to mean the floor tonight not as low as it has been in recent days. And it's not exactly been low. The past 24 hours have seen an upward trend in the temperature department. This is going to continue all the way into the weekend, something we've been previewing, how the start of the week was as cool as it got. And even then, it wasn't exactly a lot of cool temperatures out there. Our severe weather risk, there is some good news. Let me give you the good news. The severe weather risk is outside of our area now. Whatever storms we do get there towards northwest Alabama, not expected to be severe. The severe weather threat more towards northern Tennessee, up around Nashville, towards Bowling Green, Kentucky, even the far southeast corner of Missouri, but not here in North Mississippi. You can see the isolated showers and storms that remain overhead, but even those warnings starting to expire over those last couple of scans on our Mama Justice Doppler radar, so that's a positive sign. But what our story will be is this high pressure setup. What does this do? Well, the flow of high pressure is opposite of a low pressure system. I know, makes sense, right? But it has this clockwise circulation to it. So while it's bringing in that Gulf moisture for New Orleans, for Mobile, over even into the Florida Panhandle by a slight margin, you can see with those showers there, what this is also doing is giving us more of that westerly flow. And as this high pressure system shifts more towards the west, it'll almost become a direct westerly flow, bringing us that drier heat from Texas, from Oklahoma, that you see temperatures up around the triple digits. That's a possibility by this weekend as high pressure lingers around, in fact, shifts positions a little bit more towards the west, and that will allow those temperatures to increase. But like we were talking about at 5 and 6, if the temperature's high, it's a dry heat. If the temperatures are not as high, I guess you could still say it's still hot, but not as high as that dry heat, well, then you're going to have the moisture attached to it. So either way, you're still ending up with feels like values around 110 degrees by the weekend. Now, our frontal boundary, I say hour, not hours at all, well away from us here in North Mississippi, and that's how it'll be even into the overnight hours as well. So our one sense of relief is this cluster of showers, and I guess there's a few rumbles there, 622 strikes with this batch of storms up there towards northwest Alabama. That's going to continue to be our lone chance of rainfall overnight, and even that starting to move further towards the south and east away from us here in North Mississippi. So our HRRR model, latest model coming in, showing that those showers and storms do clear out overnight. So while you may hear rumbles in the distance there in Iuka, not going to last much longer. So enjoy, I guess, watching the rainfall. You can't really enjoy actually experiencing it because it's just outside of our viewing area. By the start of our Thursday, you notice how cloud cover is building in. This is going to put a damper on the meteor shower viewing. We'll look at that latest forecast coming up in just a moment, but it's clear now. We need to go out there, here in about 3 hours or so when that peak coverage does start, to try and view a couple of those meteors because the pre-dawn hours unfortunately going to be dodging a little bit more cloud cover. By mid-morning, still seeing some of those wispy clouds up there in the sky. And as we head into the afternoon, again, wispy clouds will remain the story. While it looks like a ton of coverage blanketing the sky, these are those real thin clouds way high up in the sky that the sunshine can easily get through. So don't worry. Temperatures are still going to be ramping up despite the facade that's being predicted here on our futurecast, at least showcased there on our futurecast. So the next 24, we're 77 by 6 a.m., 84 by 9, 95 degrees already by noontime with 97 towards the afternoon. We talk about that positive trend affecting our low temperatures. Well, you see how they're affecting high temperatures. Well, there is I can't emphasize this enough, minimal chance of rainfall. That's not the story for us. We don't need to go about the day thinking, oh, well, we're going to be the 10%. No, more than likely, you're part of the 90, meaning you're dry from start to finish on your Thursday with plenty of sunshine despite some of those thin, wispy clouds lingering about in the sky. So heat coming in a big way. Bigger than even what it's been this week. And that will gradually increase heading into the weekend. We're going to be looking at the latest on our weekend forecast and also look at those meteor shower forecasts overnight. I know a lot of folks wanting to get a visual there. Caleb was literally talking to me about it a few moments ago saying, oh, Gabe, I'm getting out there. I'm going to view it. Now we'll see if he wakes up early enough. But that's a whole other part of the forecast and a whole other part of the tale. So we'll look at that latest forecast coming up in a few moments. But in the next 60 seconds, Nettleton got a grant. Where? When? What's it for? Our Emily Leonard joining us with Mississippi Live News, tracking that out for you, as well as many other stories in the North Mississippi area. That coming up right after the break.
I started banking in 2012, went to First Choice Bank. They gave me my first loan, super easy to deal with. I like First Choice Bank. I've never wanted to go anywhere else. I'm a customer for life.
Reserve your St. Jude Dream Home giveaway ticket by August 28th, and you'll be eligible to win the house and the bonus prize, a 2026 Polar Ranger, courtesy of Dream Day Foundation. Visit dreamhome.org or call 1-800-456-8351 to reserve your ticket today.
Achieving my goals as an adult was challenging without a high school diploma. With the help of an adult education center, I finished my high school diploma and it changed my life.
This yearbook is a testament to your accomplishments and how they have impacted all of us.
Getting my high school diploma made me feel like I can do anything. Now I can help the kids in my community achieve their dreams.
When you graduate, they graduate. Visit finishyourdiploma.org to find free and supportive adult education centers near you.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. I hope you had a wonderful day. Thank you for joining us here on Mississippi Live. I'm Emily Leonard. Remember yesterday when we told you about the grants that Main Street associations can apply for through the Mississippi Development Authority? Well, Nettleton is applying, and boy, do they have a plan. Here it is. It's this: remodeling Nettleton's old Cotton Hotel into a new event venue. Main Street's applying for $500,000 through the Mississippi Main Street Revitalization Grant to turn the historic building into what they're calling the Cotton House. The venue would be available for rent for things like weddings, showers, birthday parties, and an architect is already on board to get the plans in place before the grant submission. The building was donated to Nettleton Main Street this summer by Betty Williams, dates back to the late 1800s. A big check came with a big donation for Northeast Habitat for Humanity. TVA donated $30,000 to the nonprofit, and they were all smiles, of course. Executive Director BJ Kent says this gift helps move their mission forward, making home ownership possible for more local families. For TVA, it's about investing in partnerships that strengthen our communities. If you want to help, visit nemshabitat.com, or you can also call their number 662-842-4675. Sarsonic Technologies out of Texas is testing its larger Marauder-class vessels near Gulfport. It looks like this one. This is an AI-powered autonomous boat, and it's a really big boat. The company will use a 30,000 square foot facility at the Port of Gulfport for the final testing and on-water trials. The CEO says Gulfport shipbuilding history has made it the right spot for testing. Mississippi U.S. Senator Roger Wicker, who is also the chair of the Armed Services Committee, was a part of that big announcement. He's in this photo here. He's got the sunglasses on. Let me point to him. There he is. Nailed it. I'm getting used to this whole green screen thing, you guys. He thanks Sarsonic and the critical work they are doing in Mississippi and equipping our warfighters with the challenges that lie ahead. As I mentioned, these boats are really big, 180 feet long, able to carry up to 150 metric tons and travel as far as 5,400 nautical miles. Welcome to Mississippi. Thank you so much for joining us here on Mississippi Live. I'm Emily Leonard. I hope you have a great night.
Dust off your favorite shotgun and sign up for the Natchez Trace Council Clay Classic. Call 662-842-2871 or visit natcheztracecouncil.org.
Right now, from the Mississippi Live Weather Center, here's meteorologist Gabe Maynor.
So the temperatures are hot, but we're getting even hotter getting into the weekend. 97 Thursday, 98 Friday, 99 Saturday, 100 Sunday. While I do enjoy a consistent upward trend, I don't exactly enjoy it whenever we're approaching 100 degrees. I just like the uniformity of it. But by the weekend, we steady out around that triple digit mark, and that carries over even into the start of the week. So from here on out, folks, we need a bottle of water before we get out the door. We need a way to stay cool. We need a plan in place of how you're going to take a break from the outdoors. Whether you're coaches, whether you're band directors, whether you're just trying to go outside to the park. Parents, too, listen up. It's a dangerous forecast. This is the type of heat that can catch you by surprise during those afternoon activities, and we don't want to have any heat-related illnesses as we approach the weekend and as we go about the rest of this week and next week. Now, next week, we do actually have some rain chances in the forecast. It's only 20%, but it's rain chances, and that's what matters at the very least. While we don't want rain chances for the meteor shower, we'll definitely take it for those temperatures. Now, I put mostly clear on that Thursday forecast, but I do want to make a note. It's clear now. It'll be clear around midnight. But as we go through the night, those thin, wispy clouds will gradually move in. That'll hinder some of the viewing pleasures that we have here in North Mississippi when it comes to the Perseid meteor shower. But why tonight is so key to view? Because our peak is tonight. The most likely chance that you will see a meteor up in the sky is tonight, heading into the start of our Thursday. Up to 25 meteors an hour. That's nearly a meteor every other minute. So you need to get out there and enjoy it. Most of all, you need to send in those pictures. I know it's upside down. You need to send in those pictures through the Mississippi Live Weather app, and we'd love to showcase that. We even just got a few pictures of the night sky, and it looks stunning, especially with those clear skies that are overhead right now. And that's what we expect to remain the story, especially here in North Mississippi, Northwest Alabama, a little bit of a different setup. That cloud cover attached to those thunderstorms continues to move on through. But if you look from east to west here in Mississippi, those clouds starting to taper on out, and we're enjoying those clear night skies with plenty of stars up there and hopefully plenty of meteors here soon. Our total strikes coming down over those last couple of scans were, actually I say coming down, I guess we were including some showers and storms earlier on that were outside of our area. It's actually seeing an increase in that lightning coverage there towards Florence up there in Colbert County. We're up to about 300 strikes. So we're going to continue to monitor that along 72 from Huntsville to Florence. But here in North Mississippi, not expecting a drop, and you see that movement really pushing that out there more towards Alabama rather than moving into Mississippi. Now rain chances, well, we've had a few try to sprinkle in here. Emphasis on a sprinkle because they're not amounting to a lot. I mean, you can see trace amounts right there just north of West Point over there towards Lamar County, 0.18 inches, about a quarter of an inch there in Starkville. Now, this is not a ton of rainfall, and honestly, I think that might even be overdoing some of those rainfall totals, but the heaviest portions have been up here towards Colbert County, up there around Florence, and right along Highway 72, where we've gotten upwards of about an inch in spots. So definitely watching that boundary just on the outskirts there. Corinth, or I guess Iuka and Corinth, got a little bit as well, but even then, not a ton of rainfall and definitely not enough to alleviate any of those drought concerns that are still ongoing. But as we look across the area, Iuka, I was curious if we got any strikes there in the distance. I did see, I'll pull up the chat here behind the scenes real quick because I did see a question about Iuka specifically. So as I pull that up, Mackenzie saying, is Iuka good for tonight? Seeing some lightning. Iuka is fine to go to bed. Now, I want you guys to tune in 9 and 10 o'clock, but you are good to go to bed. No need to worry about those concerns whenever it comes to weather. But yes, there's that lightning there in the distance. You can see that illuminating some of those higher cloud tops. So that's where I'll say lightning is definitely seeing an uptick, but no worry about any severe weather tonight. No worry about any tornadoes either. So go to bed and just, I guess, enjoy the sights there in the distance and stay inside because you don't want to be outside with that lightning ongoing. I just see my mom-in-law joining the chat saying, setting the alarm now. Yes, you got to wake up early for the meteor shower because it is going to be the pre-dawn hours where we see some of those meteors. But with that being said, you might want to get out by midnight, because that's going to be where those skies are a little bit more clear. As you see in Caledonia, well, looking off in the distance, we do have some rumbles of thunder, those more towards Alabama. But here in Caledonia, I do see a few stars up there indicating the clear skies that are overhead, as will be the case through the rest of our overnight hours until that cloud cover does try to move in for the start of our Thursday. Greenville, another scenario where you're seeing those stars up there in the sky. I was hopeful. I guess we have a 10 o'clock show that might give us a chance at seeing a meteor, but I thought we might see one for tonight. But a meteor every other hour, that's pretty frequent. So I definitely recommend getting outside and maybe taking a look up there in the sky. 80 degrees by 11, mostly clear skies. 79 by 2, still with mostly clear skies. And even by 5 a.m., we're 77 degrees. I do still have mostly clear skies because the cloud cover that we are getting is thin and wispy. That will hinder some of our viewing, some of our sights up there in the sky, but it's not going to be producing any rainfall, which is a positive for our morning commute. Now, those showers do taper off more towards Alabama, leaving us with those mostly clear conditions. Like I mentioned, you can definitely see those windows of clear skies where you're able to see some of those meteor showers. But while we get some cloud cover building in, this is real thin and wispy. This is not going to be your dense cloud cover that'll completely block the night sky. By 4 or 5 a.m., maybe getting some cumulus clouds mixing in there as well, and that unfortunately will hinder some of our sights. And by 6 a.m., still around that same time frame where we're watching some of those clouds work their way into the region. But by 6 a.m., the sun is up and the meteor shower is over. And then our next story begins. While the meteor shower is exciting, the temperatures are not. 77 Tupelo, Houston, and Eupora, 78 Greenwood, Grenada, and down towards Belzona. Folks, in Greenville, we're starting the day at 80 degrees. I remember when 80 degrees was our high temperature. So shows how we are in the dog days of summer for sure. And we're going to continue that into the weekend as well. But let's focus on Thursday. 78 by pickup, 97 towards drop-off. Folks, our IMPC definitely monitoring heat-related illnesses for viewers here in North Mississippi. I know they love seeing their patients, but I know that they don't want to see an influx of heat-related illnesses over the next couple of days because that's preventable. That is fully preventable. It's fully reliant on us and taking the necessary precautions to be safe throughout the rest of this week. So by mid-morning, still some of those thin clouds mixing in with cumulus clouds, a similar sight as to what we saw today. Those starting to clear up by the afternoon, and that sunshine will reign supreme, warming up those temperatures and unfortunately warming them up even more than what we saw today. A few showers possible up there along the Tennessee state line, this kind of on the outskirts of that stationary front. But honestly, rain chances hard to come by for your Thursday, and we will stay dry from start to finish for 90% of us here in North Mississippi. High temperatures up to 101 degrees in Clarksdale, 102 Greenville, 100 Belzona. Hey, joining the triple-digit mark there for your Thursday. 99 in Tupelo, so might as well be there. You look at your record temperatures, we're 104 degrees set back in 2007, only 5 degrees off of that here in the Tupelo area, and a lot of locations actually getting even closer. But the feels like values easily surpassing 105 degrees and up to 110 Clarksdale and Tunica, or at least 110 plus, I should say, warranting those extreme heat warnings. So it fits why it's positioned more towards northwest Mississippi, but I do expect those to be expanded through the rest of our area as we approach the weekend. Now, as we get into our Thursday night, temperatures becoming a little bit more bearable. Sun is set, and that's the time to get some of those outdoor plans done. I will be honest, I've been watering when I get off my 10 o'clock show because that's the best time to do so. I'm not dripping in sweat as I'm doing it or worried about my health with the heat. So that's an optimal time to get outside and do it. Now, if you don't have a 10 o'clock show, you can get out there a little bit earlier, but that's what time that my schedule gets free. And during our Friday morning commute, yes, the final day of the work week, it's going to be beautiful. Maybe a shower or two here and there, and we're rooting for it because that'll help bring some rain-cooled air. But once again, rain chance is going to be hard to come by on your Friday. In fact, a lot of areas starting even warmer than we have all week long. South Haven at 80 degrees, 79 right along the river, 78 Greenwood and Belzona, 78 Tupelo, Amory, and Columbus, even 76 Red Bay and Hamilton, Alabama. Our normal 72. We're 6 degrees above that in a lot of locations, if not higher, depending on where you're at. But throughout your Friday, while there are some chances there, you can see how the cloud cover starts to recede more towards Alabama. And this is that westerly flow that we talked about. The wind's coming directly out of the west, and that's going to be that drier heat that's settling in, and it's pushing the moisture away, which lowers our dew points. Hey, that's a positive, but it will increase our temperatures by the afternoon, where we could see some of those actual temperatures in the upper 90s. Now, seeing some rain chances try to pop in, that is a positive, and that will bring some cooler temperatures with it. Now, we'll keep the mugginess around, but I do believe some drier heat is in store for locations west of 55, which will up those temperatures once again for your Friday. 102 Clarksdale and Greenville, 100 Greenwood, 101 Belzona. Now, if the rest of our area dries up, similar to how it's going to be out west, well, you're seeing triple digits in Tupelo, even towards Vernon, Alabama, showing the shift in the forecast and more locations showing those triple digits. And by the weekend, we could see, I guess you could be in the minority by the weekend if you're not seeing triple digits, unfortunately. Record is 104. Again, we're not far from it. I guess 07 was a toasty year. I was only 6 years old at the time, so I don't remember it off the top of my head. But seeing a consistent record high temperature there for both Thursday and Friday, well, we're not there just yet, but by the weekend, potentially record setting. 108 Tupelo and Booneville for those feels like values, 109 Clarksdale, 108 even down towards Columbus and Vernon. So extreme heat warnings, not out of the realm of possibilities, but for sure advisory is going to be issued. And we talk about rain-cooled relief, not getting a lot of that over the next couple of days, even approaching the weekend. So with that drier forecast, that's why we're also talking triple digits as a possibility, some of that drier heat settling in. But getting into the start of next week, rain chances come up. Not by much, but they're up a little bit more than where we'll sit at to wrap up this week. So we'll take what we can get for sure. And with that 20%, you can already see those temperatures falling a little bit. 99 Tuesday, 97 Wednesday. Yes, I'm saying falling, and I'm still talking about temperatures in 97 to 99. So shows how toasty we are. And triple digits, honestly, tough to come by here in North Mississippi, but we've already hit that mark in Greenville the past couple of days. Clarksdale actually joining the club today, and we expect more locations to join tomorrow, even into our Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and you see Sunday, Monday kind of sitting along that same same potential. So make sure to have that Mississippi Live Weather app. It'll let you know if there are any of those warnings that are close to your area, talking heat-related warnings, not severe weather warnings. So we're not worried about that at all over the next couple of days. So download that app today, like, subscribe, and follow on all of our socials. We'll keep you posted there as well. And we appreciate all of your support here in North Mississippi. While it's not the storms we're tracking, it's still a very dangerous forecast, and we definitely need to be weather aware and stay mindful of what's happening over the next at least 7 days. And even then, could be talking about heat extending beyond that. Our next live show at 10 o'clock tonight, we're going to be tracking the tropics. We talk about temperatures heating up here. Well, the tropics are heating up in the Atlantic. We'll be looking at the latest on Cristobal, as well as our next potential systems moving into the next couple of days. That coming up at 10 o'clock tonight. Keep it here for the very latest.
Growing up in a farming community, I've always been fascinated with the weather, but in 2024, my draw to be a mother became stronger.
So I took a step back from my job until Matt gave me a call. Mississippi Live allows me to be fully present at home while also getting to do my dream job as a broadcast meteorologist.
Wake up with me every weekday morning on Mississippi Live.